Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning,
Waalaikumsalam.
ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the parallel session of the International Conference on Advancement in Data Science and Learning and Information System, ICADEIS 2026. My name is Mifta Ardianti, and I'm honored to guide today's session. So welcome to in room D3 for online session. Before we begin, allow me to take a present for all presenter to make sure that all presenters are here. So the first presenter is Mrs. Afifa Hairani Aziz from Salakanagara University. Yes, okay. And then second, Mr. Rizky Fenaldo Maulana from Universitas Telkom. Hello, Mr. Rizky. But the presenters are here, yeah. Okay, next, Mr. Pugu Hiskiawan from University of Bunda Mulia. Okay, maybe not present. And then the last presenter, Mr. Arif Rahman from Universitas Telkom. Okay, not present, yeah. Okay, but we can start the online session. And for the rules for presentation and Q&A session, each presenter will have 10 minutes to deliver their presentation. Each presenter has a maximum of 10 minutes to present. At the 8 minutes, there will be a reminder. There are 2 minutes left, and if time's up, is the timer information in timer, and followed by 5 minutes a question and answer segment. For online session, the maximum for presenter is 5 minutes. For Q&A, 5 minutes, and will be extended 10 minutes. If needed, I kindly ask to all attendees to give the question until the Q&A session after each presentation. So if a presenter is not ready, like Mr. Pugu Hiskawan and Mr. Arif Rahman, maybe we can move to next presenter. Before it, I will check the display name to the paper ID and underscore name. Okay, already. And also use the background. Okay. Okay, I think we can start our online session. For the first presentation is Mrs. Afifa Hairini Aziz from Salakanagara University, Indonesia. She will present a paper titled Improving Accuracy of Motorcycle Odometer Digit Recognition Using YOLO version 10 Enhanced ECOCR. Okay, before it, I will to confirm Mrs. Afifa, will you be sharing your screen or will you prefer to present with ICADEIS team?
Okay, Miss Mifta, let me share my presentation.
Okay. Okay. Are you ready, Miss Afifa?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. You have 10 minutes, place and time are welcome.
Okay, everyone, good morning. Distinguished chairs, respected reviewers, fellow researchers, and all participants. It is a great honor for us to present our research at ICADEIS 2026. My name is Afifa Hairani Aziz, together with my co-author Marsuki Piliang from Universitas Salakanagara. Today, I will present our paper entitled Improving Accuracy of Motorcycle Odometer Digit Recognition Using YOLO V10 Enhanced Easy OCR. In this presentation, I will discuss four main sections. First, I will explain the background and motivation of the study. Second, I will describe the proposed method, especially the integration of YOLO V10 and Easy OCR. Third, I will present the result and discussion, including localization performance and recognition accuracy. Finally, I will conclude the study and highlight future research direction. Let me begin with the introduction. Motorcycle automated digit recognition is an important task in vehicle data management. Accurate mileage information is essential for service history recording, maintenance scheduling, predictive maintenance, insurance assessment, and vehicle value estimation. In many practical cases, mileage data is still recorded manually by vehicle owners, mechanic, or service operators. This manual process is vulnerable to human error, inconsistent input, and inaccurate. However, automatic motorcycle recognition is an important task in vehicle data management. Accurate mileage information is essential for service history recording. However, automated digit recognition is not a simple task. Motorcycle dashboard image is often captured in real-world conditions using smartphone cameras. This image may contain glare, reflection, motion blur, low resolution, inconsistent lighting, and different capture angles. In addition, dashboard image may also include background elements such as brand logos, fuel indicators, speed marker, and other visual components that can interfere with optical character recognition. OCR rarely to the full dashboard image often reduce in accurate result. Easy OCR as a practical OCR engine can recognize text and digits, but its performance may decrease when the input image contains many distraction elements. Therefore, this study proposed a YOLO-V10 enhanced easy OCR approach. The main idea is to first detect and isolate the automated digit recognition using YOLO-V10 and then apply easy OCR only to the cropped region. By doing this, the OCR engine receives a cleaner input image, which helps improve digit recognition accuracy. Next, I will explain the method. The study used a two-stage recognition pipeline. The first stage is automated region localization using YOLO-V10. This step is important because it removes unnecessary dashboard element before the OCR process. In other words, YOLO-V10 acts as a visual filter that focuses the system only on the most relevant area. The second stage is digit recognition using Easy OCR. After the automated region is detected and cropped, the cropped image is processed by Easy OCR to improve recognition consistency. The OCR process is restricted to numeric characters only from 0 to 9. In addition, the output is standardized into a 6-digit format. This formatting step is important because motorcycle automated value often need a consistent digit length for database storage and service history management. In this research, the database consists of 5,000 cycle images, including both analog and digital automated panels. The images represent particle variations found in real-world motorcycle dashboards. The YOLO-V10 model was trained to localize automated digit regions, while Easy OCR was applied afterward to recognize the numerical mileage from the localized region. Now let us move to the result and discussion. The first result concerns localization performs. The proposed YOLO-V10 enhanced ECOCR pipeline achieved strong localization performance with MAP at 0.5 of 0.9950 and MAP at 0.5 per 0.95 of 0.8420. These results show that YOLOv10 can accurately detect and crop the odometer digit region even under challenging dashboard conditions such as glare, reflection, and background noise. The localization stage is very important because the main weakness of direct OCR is its sensitivity to irrelevant visual elements. When easy OCR is applied directly to the full dashboard image, it may misinterpret logos, indicator, or dashboard line as text. By using YOLOv10 before OCR, the system reduces background interference and provides a cleaner region for digit recognition. The second result concerned recognition accuracy. The baseline approach, which uses easy OCR directly, achieved an average per digit accuracy of 73.01%. After applying the proposed YOLOv10 plus easy OCR pipeline, the average per digit accuracy increased to 81.24%. This represents an absolute improvement of 8.23%. This improvement demonstrates that odometer region localization significantly enhanced easy OCR performance. The result also confirmed that detection-based processing is effective for solving practical recognition problems in noisy visual environments. Instead of relying only on OCR, the system benefits from combining object detection and character recognition in a structured pipeline. From a practical perspective, this result is meaningful because automated recognition is not only a laboratory problem, it has direct application in digital service book system and predictive maintenance platform. In the study, the proposed methods support automate mileage update through smartphone camera's input. Once the mileage is recognized, the data can be used to recommend maintenance action such as engine oil replacement, tire inspection, of CVT bar replacement based on service intervals. Therefore, the contribution of this study is not only improving recognition accuracy, but also demonstrating a practical AI-based solution for real-world motorcycle maintenance management. The combination of YOLOv10 and easy OCR provide a more reliable approach for extracting mileage data from motorcycle dashboard images. Now I will present the conclusion. The first conclusion is that the YOLOv10 and enhanced easy OCR pipeline effectively improve motorcycle odometer digit recognition. YOLOv10 accurately localize the odometer region before OCR processing, allowing easy OCR to work on cleaner and more focused image area. The second conclusion that the proposed method increased the average per digit accuracy from 73.01% to 81.24% to 4%, showing an 8.423% improvement compared to the baseline easy OCR approach. This result indicates that object detection-based localization plays an important role in improving OCR accuracy under real-world dashboard conditions.
Thumbs up, Miss.
For future research, we plan to improve recognition accuracy under extreme low light condition, where image quality may significantly decrease. In addition, future work may explore lightweight model optimization or quantization to reduce inference, latency, and super faster deployment on edge devices or mobile platforms. To close this presentation, this study shows that integrating YOLOv10 and easy OCR can provide a practical and effective solution for motorcycle odometer digit recognition. To propose pipeline, improve accuracy, reduce background interference and support real-world predictive maintenance application. Thank you very much for your attention. I would be pleased to receive your question, comments, and suggestion.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Afifa, for that insightful presentation. So we will now open the floor for question. If you have a question, please use the raise hand feature in the Zoom. Kindly state your name and affiliation before you asking question. For another presenter, maybe have question to Mrs. Afifa. Okay. Audience, then I have a question for you, Mrs. Afifa, about the data set, right? Data set in you use in this research is include both analog and digital odometers, or have a limited a specific type?
Okay, thank you for the question, Mrs. Mifta. The question, I will defer this question to my colleague, Mr. Mazuki, who will address your question. For Mr. Mazuki, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Stefan. I will answer the question. Yes, we use both digital and analog odometer. We get the data set from one of uh, automotive company, is PT Surga Indonesia. We collect the data from there. There is no specific type of motorcycle. We use the random type of odometer dashboard. Thank you. Hopefully it's the full answer.
Okay, thank you. Maybe Mrs. Afifa want to add the answer?
It's enough from
Okay.
me.
Okay. So one question again more for another presenter or attendee. Okay, I think enough. We can move to next presenter. Next presenter is Mr. Rizky Fernaldo Maulana. Okay, Mr. Fernando Maulana from Universitas Telkom Indonesia will present a paper titled Soil Condition Classification in Melon Root Zones using Support Vector Machine. So you have 10 minutes.
Yep.
Okay, one round applause for Mr. Rizky.
Okay, so I will share my screen. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, I will present our research article about soil condition classification in root zones using our research team is Ahmad Wali Satria Baharijawan as a first author, and me, Rizky Fernaldo Maulana, and Agus Sulistia from Telkom University Informatika Campus Surabaya. So this is the beginning of our roadmap research for other auto fertilization. Okay, so today content are the introduction, the background research and the gap, and the next one is the method, the system design, and the next one is the result and discussion, and the last one is the conclusion and the future research. So for the introduction, in Indonesia, melon production is declining in 2 years. From 2021, we have melon production in 129,147 tons. But in 2023, the melon production is declining to 117 1,744 metric tons. The yield drop is in just 2 years. The melon production is declining more than 10,000 tons by BPS, the data. The catalyst is the climate change, intensifies pest attack, and elevate operational costs. Then the requirement for the melon production is sustaining high quality market yields now require absolute precision in soil condition management. Roots, we are going to talk about the melon roots. Roots are fundamentally responsible for nutrient and water absorption. If we are not talking about roots, we are talking about the leaf, or we're talking about the fruit. Visual symptom of stress on plant foliage only manifest after severe irreversible root damage has occurred. So the sickness of the plant is coming from the root first. Then the next will be the leaf and the fruit. The variables, unfavorable physicochemical condition like pH imbalance, salinity, stress, abnormal moisture, accelerate deterioration and infect soil-borne pathogens. So the invisible threat lies below the surface in the root zone. The research gap, the current diagnosis method, pose a compromise between speed and detail, where traditional lab testing is highly detailed but slow to capture rapid change. On the other hand, binary machine learning models provide real-time data but lack granularity, completely missing gradual degradation, and preventing early intervention. The proposed ideal solution for this problem is this research bridge the gap by introducing multi-level soil condition classification framework that utilize integrated pH, electrical conductivity, EC, and soil moisture sensor data to evaluate root zone suitability for melon cultivation. By categorizing soil condition into 5 risk levels: safe, low, moderate, high, and very high, and systematically optimizing SVM kernel function. This approach scalability detects subtle gradual shift in root health that conventional binary models completely miss. Next, the methods. The methods, we are using the 3 sensor here. We are using the in situ sensor, pH, EC, electrical conductivity, and the moisture. Then the data will be data set to undergo by pre-processing, including outlier detection to mitigate environmental disturbance and standardization via standard scalar, Z-score normalization, to ensure comparable scaling across the multidimensional feature. The standardized input are then processed by SVM classifier with leverage kernel function to categorize soil condition into one of 5 risk level. So we use for kernel to compare what is the best SVM kernel that we will use to classify the soil condition. We are using the 3 in situ sensing, continuous monitoring of pH, the acidity, the electrical conductivity, the salinity, and the last one is the capacitive moisture for the water availability. Why SVM? Why we use SVM? The first problem is robustness on limited data. Unlike tree-based ensemble method like random forest decision tree gradient boosting, which require massive data sets to converse, SVM construct highly effective model on smaller domain-specific dataset. And the second reason is the margin maximization. The sensor data contain high environmental variability and noise. SVM maximize the margin between passes, offering superior resistance to overfitting. And the last one is the kernel flexibility. By projecting data into higher dimensional space, SVM can untangle the subtle, nonlinear physicochemical interaction that dictate soil degradation. Then the result, we're using the dataset almost like 2,400K, 240,000K. The dataset is we are using 540 testing sample, like 20% of the total dataset evaluated using stratified sampling to preserve the true field distribution. The kernel test we evaluated for distinct SVM kernel function under identical experimental and pre-processing condition: linear, polynomial, sigmoid, and radial basis function of RBF. The challenges, the imbalance challenge, like you see my image here, like in the safe, we only have 125 data. Due to real intensive neuron cultivation, extreme step occur more frequently in the raw data than optimal safe step, requiring the classifier to perform exceptionally well among minority classes. So both the high and very high have uh, the highest data comparing by the safe and low. It will be imbalance ceilings. So we use the for kernel to compare what is the best kernel to imbalance dataset and limited data domain. The result, like we know, in my slide, the linear kernel have accuracy to 52.4%, fails entirely to identify the safe class. And the next kernel is polynomial kernel. The accuracy is 64.1%. Improve on higher risk class, but struggle with minority class like safe and low. And the third one is the sigmoid kernel. The accuracy is 31.7%, highly unstable decision boundaries. And the best kernel, RBF kernel, have the 83.3% accuracy, consistent high precision and recall across all 5 classes, including an F1 score of 0.82 for the minority safe class. So the actual accuracy is 83.3% accuracy for all 5 class. We are double checking for the minority safe class. The accuracy of F1 score is 0.82 or 82%. The evaluation, the nature of soil data, soil cyclical property does not change abruptly. They exhibit gradual, nonlinear transition. The overlap problem, most misclassification in our test occur between adjacent level, like high or very high, due to overlapping chemical signature. And then the result, the RBF advantage, the infinite dimensional feature mapping of the RBF kernel maintain distinct class boundaries, successfully untangling the complex parameters of melon root health. The conclusion, the first one is the efficacy proven. An RBF-based SVM combined with standardized multi-parameter sense of data provide a highly robust solution for complex soil condition classification with accuracy 83.3%. The second, precision agricultural impact by successfully categorizing nonlinear soil data into 5 actionable tiers. This framework acts as a real-time early detection radar. The future research, long-term validation, implementing the system over multiple growing seasons will help refine the model accuracy against extreme seasonal climate variation and long-term soil degradation pattern. And this research did in our greenhouse in the rooftop. So the scope of this research is we are not doing the rain. The water level is okay enough. Okay, so thank you. If you have any question, please do. I will back to moderator.
Okay, thank you. Now open the floor for question. Please raise your hands if you have question for Mr. Rizky. So this is Mrs. Alifah has raised hand. Please unmute and open mic. Mrs. Alifah.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Afifah from Universitas Salakanagara, and I have a question regarding the practical application of your research, Mr. Rizky.
Yep.
The data in result indicates that high and very high risk conditions occur much more frequently than safe states. In a practical field implementation, what mitigation steps would you recommend to farmers if the model consistently detects these high risk conditions?
Okay, thank
Okay.
you. Mr. Rizky, you can respond the question.
Okay, thank you, Miss Afifa. So, based on our experience in our greenhouse, we have multiple recommendation. Like if the hike or very high due to the pH, like we need to add the water to reduce the acidity from the fertilizer. If the water availability, we need to add the soil to reduce the moisture and the electrical and the conductivity or salinity, we can add the fertilizer. So the classifier here, this is the only for the early warning system, but the farmer need to check the parameter what is make the soil classify to high or very high. This is based of the salinity. This is our first research to create the automated fertilization for the melon root in our greenhouse. So it will be we have next research to continue this research. That's the answer for me.
Okay. Enough, Mrs. Afifa, or you have another feedback?
That's enough, and a very insightful answer from Mr. Rizky. Thank you so much, Mr. Rizky.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Maybe one question more or another presenter or attendee. You can raise your hand. Okay, I think enough. Thank you, Mr. Rizky, for your. Oh, okay. Sorry, Mr. Marzuki. Okay, you can share your question.
Yes, sorry. I'm wondering about Mr. Rizky fishing models. To my knowledge, the artificial neural network and it's already flexible and robust. Why should we prefer SPM over ANN?
Okay. Okay, so the question is why use SVM instead of a neural network? Uh, why SVM? Because the first one is robustness on limited data because like we have imbalanced data set and domain specific data set because we are using only the sensor, and the last one is the kernel flexibility because we compare the four type of the kernel to check what is the best. But if the neural network, maybe we can check to compare with the SPM. But the last one we compare is the random forest and decision tree. The is not good comparing by the SVM. What's
Oh,
insightful from Mr. Mazuki?
yeah, okay. So you already compare with model.
Yeah, we are compare the decision tree based like a random forest and SVM. So the random forest is not creating the not good result instead of SVM.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Masuki.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Marzuki and Mr. Rizky. So do time, and maybe if you have additional question, we encourage you to approach Mr. Rizky during the break session, or you can find the email. And so next we move to the third presenter. Please welcome Mrs. Salinia Christabel, Bunda Mulia from Bunda Mulia University. Okay, who will present a paper titled Explainable Continuous Reinforcement Learning for Adaptive Battery Dispatch in Tropical Microgrids. So a warm round of applause for Mrs. Salina. You have 10 minutes, please, and time are welcome.
Wait, I will share my screen.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Mifta Ardianti. My screen is clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Mifta Ardianti and I'm from Bunda Mulia University. It is an honor for me to be able to present our research at this conference. Today, on behalf of my co-authors, I'm pleased to present our paper titled Explainable Continuous Reinforcement Learning for Adaptive Battery Dispatch in Tropical Microgrids. Before we begin is the outline of today's presentation. We will start with the introductions, followed by proposed methodology, then discuss the experimental results and findings, and finally conclude the future work. Now, let me begin with the introduction. Tropical microgrids have great potential for utilizing solar energy. However, energy management remains challenging because photovoltaic generation depends on weather conditions, while electricity demand changes throughout the day. These fluctuations make battery dispatch decisions more complex, as the system must continuously balance energy supply and demand while minimizing operational costs. Therefore, adaptive battery dispatch strategies are needed to ensure reliable and cost-efficient microgrid operation. To address this challenge, several approaches have been applied to microgrid energy management, including rule-based control, optimization-based control, and reinforcement learning. Among them, reinforcement learning is promising because it can learn control policy directly from system interactions. However, most existing studies still use discrete battery actions, which may result in above charging and discharging behavior. In addition, many reinforcement learning models provide limited explainability, making their decision difficult to interpret. Therefore, the study proposed a continuous reinforcement learning framework using soft actor critic or SAC to achieve smoother battery dispatch and provide explainable policy analysis. Now let's move on to the methods. This slide illustrates the proposed framework. The reinforcement learning agent observes several state variables that represent the microgrid condition. These variables include electricity demand, photovoltaic generation, battery state of charge, time-related features represented by sine and cosine functions, and ambient temperature. Based on these observations, the soft actor critic agent determines the most appropriate battery dispatch actions. The selected action is then applied to the battery system, and then the resulting system response is used as feedback for the learning process. Through continuous interactions with the environment, the agent greatly learns an adaptive dispatch policy that balances economic performance and operational stability. Unlike conventional approach that rely on discrete actions, the study formulates battery dispatch as a continuous control problem. The action space range continuously from charging to discharging. This allows the agent to determine battery power more precisely and realistically according to current operating conditions. As a result, continuous control provides greater flexibility, smoother energy transition, and improved responsiveness to fluctuations in photovoltaic generation and electricity demand. To guide the learning process, a multi-objective reward function is designed. The reward consists of four main components: operational cost minimization, self-sufficiency, penalty. The smoothness penalty is particularly important because it discourages abrupt changes between consecutive dispatch actions. By combining this objective, the agent learns not only to reduce costs but also maintain stable and practically battery operations. Now let's move on to results and discussions. First, we compare the proposed continuous SAC approach with the discrete PPO-based one. The result shows a substantial improvement in economic performance. The total operational cost decreased from approximately 19,432 Indonesian rupiah under PPO to around 6,405 Indonesian rupiah using SAC. This represents a cost reduction of approximately 67%. In addition, SNC achieved lower energy AOI and slightly lower mean state of charge variation, indicating smoother energy dispatch and improved operational stability. These findings demonstrate that continuous reinforcement learning can significantly improve microgrid efficiency while maintaining stable energy behavior. This figure presents the comparison of battery state of charge trajectories over a 24-hour period. The PPO policy exhibits several above SOC transitions, especially during periods when photovoltaic generation and electricity demand change rapidly. In contrast, the SSC policy produced noticeably smoother SOC trajectories throughout the daily cycle. Charging and discharging process occur more gradually, indicating that the learned policy adapts better operation and more stable manner. From a practical perspective, smoother SOC dynamics help reduce sudden battery utilization changes, which may contribute to improve the battery reliability and long-term performance. This slide compares the dispatch actions generated by both reinforcement learning policies. The PPO strategy produces stepwise dispatch patterns because it is limited to a predefined set of discrete actions. Meanwhile, the SSC policy generates smoother dispatch trajectory with smaller variations between consecutive time steps. This behavior demonstrates the advantage of continuous action space, which allows the agent to adjust battery power more flexibility according charging operation conditions. As a result, the proposed SIC framework achieves more realistic battery operation and better adaptation to renewable energy variability. To improve interpretability, we perform gradient-based feature sensitivity analysis. The ranking showed that photovoltaic generation is the most influential feature affecting dispatch decision. This is followed by time-related variables represented by hour sine and hour cosine, as well as decision making, although its influence is lower. Interestingly, battery state of charge has the smaller sensitivity value among all variables. This finding suggests that the learned policy primarily relies on renewable energy variability and temporal patterns when determining battery dispatch actions. This analysis provides valuable insight to how the SAC agents make decisions and support the development to more trustworthy reinforcement learning systems. Overall, this result demonstrates the effectiveness of proposed continuous SAC framework in improving both economic efficiency and operational stability. Based on these findings, let's move on to the conclusion. In conclusion, the study successfully developed an explainable continuous reinforcement learning framework for adaptive battery dispatch in tropical microgrids. Using the soft critic algorithm, the proposed approach reduced operational costs by approximately 67% while maintaining smoother battery operation and improved dispatch stability. The explainability analysis also revealed the photovoltaic generation and temporal features play the most important roles in dispatch decision. Future work will focus on multi-household microgrids, battery aging models, and more advanced explainability techniques. This concludes our presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Selina, for that insightful presentation. So we will now open the floor question. If you have question, please raise your hands with feature in Zoom. Okay, if there is no question from the audience, then I have question for you, Mrs. Selina. So what is the main scientific contribution of your work beyond combining reinforcement learning and explainable AI? Because you combine reinforcement learning and explainable AI for battery dispatch.
Reduce energy for the smart city.
For what? Sorry?
To reduce
Oh,
energy,
to reduce energy.
especially in Tangerang.
Oh, okay. Is enough, or you can add another answer?
There is.
Okay, there's enough. Okay, Kenapa? Please open mic, Miss apa?
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Oh, yeah. Next question for Mrs. Afifah.
Thank you for Mrs. Mifta and hello for Miss Kelly from let me introduce myself. My name is Afifah from Universitas Negara. I will ask one question in the discussion section. It is mentioned that policy discussion are influenced by time pattern through the hours underscore scene and hour underscore course features. How does this cycle time influence help mitigate fluctuations in environmental variables, such as a temperature in maintaining system stability? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Afifah. Mrs. Selinia can respond the question.
The variability and sensitivity of the sun is and solar cell is the variables that determine this thing.
Is enough, Mrs. Selinia?
That's enough.
Okay, how about Mrs. Afifah? Is can answer?
It's enough, Miss Mifta. Thank you so much for the answer.
Okay, thank you. So let's now proceed to our next presenter. Please welcome Mr. Arif Rahman. Yes. Okay, from Universitas M.kom. Yes. You have 10 minutes. The presentation about attention-based LSTM quantitation for age fall detection using wearable sensors. So please and time are welcome.
Okay, is my presentation slide showing?
Yes.
Okay, mind if I start now? Okay, good morning, esteemed judges and everyone. My name is Arif Rahman, and today I am honored to present our research titled Attention-Based LSTM Quantization for Edge Fall Detection Using Wearable Sensors. This work was co-authored with my colleagues, that is Aji Gautama Putrada and Sidik Prabowo from Telkom University. Okay, to guide you through our presentation today, I have divided our talk into 4 core chapters. We'll begin with the introduction and our background motivation. Then we'll step into our architectural methods. Following that, we will analyze our comparative results and evaluation metrics. And finally, we will close with our key conclusions and future work. Okay. Our research is driven by a massive public health burden. As reported by global healthcare data, fall among older adults constitute a severe threat that compromises their physical independence and imposes heavy financial pressures on healthcare systems. The World Health Organization notes that the fall are the second leading cause of accidental deaths worldwide, claiming over 648,000 lives every single year. To solve this, modern wearable IoT devices have stepped up. They leverage integrated inertial measurement unit, or IMU, sensors like accelerometers and gyroscopes to continuously monitor movement patterns in real time. However, we face a major technical bottleneck: highly accurate deep challenge, we analyzed 3 core pillars in the existing literature. First, in sequential modeling, Booth et al. Demonstrated that combining an LSTM with transfer learning evaluates fall risks with an impressive 98% accuracy. However, their base architecture completely lacks model optimization, leaving it too resource-heavy for low-power edge environments. Second, regarding the attention mechanism, Yadav et al. Proved that Adding an attention layer to sequential neural networks explicitly optimizes its performance. It forces the model to dynamically look at and extract content from only the most critical chronological time steps in a movement window. Third, for hardware optimization, Ahmed et al. Proves that post-training quantization can aggressively shrink deep learning architectures, decreasing model size by a factor of 74% while retaining a near-perfect 99% accuracy. However, their work relied heavily on image-based, high-power CNN models. Our research bridges all three gaps simultaneously by creating a novel, attention-based quantized LSTM custom-tailored for lightweight wearable IMU sensors. Moving on to the next chapter, let us look at the proposed methods. This diagram illustrates the end-to-end architecture of our proposed quantization fall detection pipeline. It flows systematically from the user's wearable hardware through real-time data ingestion, local model pre-processing, optimized post-training quantization blocks, and final hardware-ready performance evaluation. Before that, let's break down the workflow down into 5 sequential steps. The first step is collection. We autonomously gather raw 3-axis accelerometer and 3-axis gyroscope data streams directly from a wearable IoT device across varied movement activities. For the second part, that is pre-processing, the raw data undergoes sliding window segmentation with a time step size of 50 and a stride of 10, transforming features into a structured 50 times 6-dimensional input shape. And the third part, training, we construct an LSTM-based model with 64 units, a 32-unit fully connected layer, and an integrated attention mechanism. It is optimized using Adder Optimizer and trained strictly on binary cross entropy loss. And the fourth, that is compression. To make it edge-ready, we apply 3 distinct post-training quantization modes. That is dynamic, float 16, finally, for the evaluation, we evaluate both the original and compressed models across accuracy, precision, recall, F1 score, latency, and compression ratios. A crucial contribution of our research lies in our data collection. We independently built a primary dataset capturing a total of 12,000 data items using wearable IMU tracking. What makes this data highly novel is its broad activity spectrum. Unlike previous studies, we explicitly captured up and down stairs movements alongside sitting, walking, and falling, including stair navigation, provides real-world complexity that prevents false positive alarms on edge device. Our class distribution contains 8,000, almost 9,000 non-falling samples versus almost 40,000 true false samples. This results in an imbalance ratio of 2.33 times, which categorizes our data set as mildly imbalanced. Crucially, to protect the temporal dependency of this time series information, we utilize a strict chronological 70% training and 30% testing split. We intentionally avoid standard random K-fold cross-validation. Next, let us dive into the core findings of our study. First, on the right, the bar chart shows the standalone impact of the attention layer before the model compression. Our baseline LSTM achieved an already high accuracy of 98.11%. However, by integrating the attention layer, our model explicitly boosts its prediction capabilities, accelerating to an accuracy of 99.2%, precision of 98.95%, and recall of 99.18%, and an F1 score of 99.07%. The attention layer successfully helps the network ignore sequential noise and focus on critical fall points. The confusion matrix on the top left displays the exceptional classification stability, showing nearly 0 false alarms. Now, at the main table, which details the post-training quantization performance and efficiency trade-offs. Our uncompressed baseline models takes 88.48 milliseconds to perform inference. In a live emergency context, an 88 millisecond delay locally is far too high and computationally exhausting for a low-power microcontrollers. We will look at our quantization metrics, both float 16 and dynamic, and achieve absolutely 0% accuracy loss, maintaining the exact near perfect classification score. In terms of processing efficiency, float 16 proved to be the absolute fastest, reducing average edge latency to just 1.11 milliseconds. Meanwhile, dynamic quantization proves to be the champion of portability, yielding the maximum compression ratio of 6.97 times, and shrinking our memory footprint down to a microscopic 38.17 kilobytes because it represents weights in lightweight 1-byte integers. Conversely, Integer 8-bit quantization introduces heavy operational overhead from representative integer calibration, which caused a noticeable 4.02% accuracy drop and higher relative latency. Therefore, float 16 and dynamic quantization emerge as our optimal edge deployment profiles. Okay. Now that we have reviewed the empirical data, let us look at the broader discussion in our specific research positioning. First, under sequential efficiency versus heavy CNNs, if you look at prior state-of-the-art systems such as quantized framework developed by Ahmed et al., we see a heavy reliance on deep CNN models. While highly accurate, these computer vision or multi-dimensional models demand immense processor overhead. Our model breaks this reliance by leveraging compressed sequential learning through a specialized LSTM. Second, consider tailored classification versus generative forecasting. There are existing architectures in the wild that combine attention layers with quantized LSTMs, most notably the QLATTE model. However, frameworks like QLATTE were built generally to handle time series forecasting, such as predicting energy loads. Our framework is fundamentally different. It is custom tailored specifically for real-time edge classification. Okay, for the conclusion. To summarize the core takeaways of our research, we have successfully designed a lightweight, highly reliable elderly fall detection system perfectly optimized for edge environments like smartwatches, operating at 1.11 milliseconds local latency with no sacrifice to accuracy. Looking forward, we have mapped out two clear future research directions. First, we intend to explore explicit data balancing techniques such as synthetic oversampling to manage our datasets mild to 0.33x class imbalance and push precision boundaries even higher. Second, we will validate our pipeline's consistency and predictability across widespread open source public benchmark datasets to verify broader environmental adaptation. Okay. We would like to informally acknowledge the Directorate of Research and Community Service of Telkom University for their vital support. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I'm very happy to give back to the panel of judges for any questions or feedback you may have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Arif, for that insightful presentation. We will now move to Q&A session. So we have two or three, right? So the first question may be from Mr. Marzuki.
Thank you. Thank you, Arif, for the presentation. The result is the accuracy result is very high, almost 100%. It's 99.5%. How to prevent the modeling from overfitting? Considering the dataset is about 12,000, right? Please give the action of the prevent the modeling from overfitting.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Marzuki, for the question. It is valid that the accuracy number is 99% threshold. We were extremely cautious about overfitting during development, and we prevented it using three main defensive measures. First, as highlighted in our methodology, we strictly avoided standard randomized k-fold cross-validation, shuffling time series data mixes past and future signals, essentially allowing the model to cheat in a way by memorizing adjacent wave patterns. Instead, we enforce a strict chronological split of the dataset itself with a ratio of 70:30, forcing the model to evaluate on entirely unseen future movement sequence, simulating a true deployment environment. Second, we integrated validation monitoring during our 30 epoch training phase to ensure our training and validation loss curves converge naturally within the splitting apart. Finally, our dataset itself includes overlapping daily movements like walking up and downstairs. By training the model to actively distinguish a real fall from these intensive activities, rather than just comparing a fall from just sitting quietly, we force the network to learn generalized features instead of just memorizing. That is my answer.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Marzuki and Mr. Arif. Next question from Oliver.
Okay. So I would like to ask a question regarding the for instance on the data set. So my next question is when an elderly person is actually falling, the sensor data might mix them with panicking, like flailing, or hitting an object on the way down. So my question is, how robust is your attention layer against that kind of chaotic noise in the dataset? Or was your dataset recorded under very controlled and clean falls? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Oliver, for the question. And now, if we use a standard LSTM model, chaotic noise like the arm flailing would be easily confused for the model because it treats all steps with an equal weight, right? This is exactly why we integrate the attention mechanism. The attention layer calculates a dynamic context vector that forces the network to pinpoint and extract the precise high-impact signatures unique to a physical fall impact. While our data was collected with the help of our research assistants, the inclusion of chaotic daily movements like walking up and downstairs was our first step towards exposing the model to a messy kind of data set in real-world variables. Testing on a completely uncurated public data set is our top priority for future work to map out those exact edge cases. That is my answer.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, maybe last question from Mr. Alexander Sartono.
Okay, thank you for the time. According to your result, dynamic quantization reduce the model size almost 7 times smaller, if I'm not wrong. However, integer 8 is often considered the best option for very low power device like microcontrollers like ESP32, like you use. Since integer 8 also makes the model much smaller, why don't you just simply recommend using integer 8 for all cases instead of dynamic quantization in the first place? That's my question.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Alexander, for the question. I will answer it now. So it is true that integer 8-bit is ideal for hardware portability, as per you say, for the example, like ESP32. However, in our specific architecture, integer 8-bit suffered a notable 4.02% drop in accuracy compared to the baseline itself. This happens because quantization aggressively strips all way fractions from both the weights and also the activations. To compensate it, it requires representative calibration, which introduced overhead on the operational and actually made the latency slower compared to float 16. That is my answer.
Okay, thank you for the answer.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Alexander and all of the presenter and also Mr. Arif. Next, we move to next agenda to close the session. Sorry, Mr. Arif, you can stop your share screen. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the parallel session. On behalf of ICADEIS 2026, I would like to thank all our presenters for their explanation, contribution, and insight. I would like to extend my gratitude to all participants for their engagement and thought-provoking questions. And we hope this session has been both informative and inspiring. So before we conclude this session, we will hold a documentation. So please open your camera. Maybe all audience in this room can open the camera. Okay, maybe enough. Okay, I will screenshot for the documentation. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you very much for your attention and have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Ms. Mifta.